All right, welcome back, and we're going to respec everybody in the group to what we're doing for the run this time. And before I say that, let's double check, and yeah, we got plenty of money. We will be stealing from Withers to get the money back. We'll just leave 100 gold on him. Generally, you want probably 200 if you want to be sure that you can always resurrect somebody. If you've got anybody that can get to him, you can just pickpocket him until you roll a 20, get the 200, and start bringing your party back. So we'll start off with Gale, and we'll say what kind of services can you offer, and what cost, and then we'll say, can you change my class? All right, so Gale's been cut off from the weave in our playthrough here, so we're going to start using the Shadow Weave. Shadow Sorcerer is actually not one of the valid options here. We don't have Shadow Sorcerer yet, so we'll take Draconic, and we'll take Fire. We'll take Fire Red, so you can also get Fire out of Brass. You can get Fire out of Gold as well. So it just depends on what spell you get. So you can get Disguise Self, you can get Sleep, right? Or you can get Burning Hands. So, and you know what? We'll take Gold. So take Disguise Self. We probably won't ever cast Burning Hands. We might cast Disguise Self. This Draconic Bloodline here shows what stuff shows up on your character's face. So you can see like there's scales and stuff. We'll just keep Gale looking like his normal Gale self. All right, so cantrips. Minor Illusions, good for repositioning. Acid Splash, there are no scrolls of. It's also not particularly great. We'll take Fire, because we're doing fire damage. We'll take Mage Hand, and we'll take Friends. Astarion, our Druid's going to have access to Bone Chill, so he'll take care of trying to pause regeneration for people. We could also, if we wanted to, it's probably not important. Right now, our character has limited mobility, so we're going to have Enhanced Leap on Astarion, but we won't have Featherfall. So we're going to take Featherfall, and we'll take Magic Missile. Sleep would also maybe be a good option, but we'll take Magic Missile. For abilities, we're going to want to prioritize Charisma and Dexterity. We want to go fast and be accurate. Dexterity also helps with our armor class. We also care about Constitution. And we've got a few ability points left. If we wanted to, we could think about taking off levels in a class. So if we were in a multi-class, you feel like you wanted to take some cleric levels or something like that. Otherwise, you've got a further investment maybe in strength just to be able to carry things. If we wanted to take a wizard level, but we're not going to do that in this run because we think that Gale is cut off from wizardry. We could also take levels in Cleric or Druid with Wisdom. Druid maybe might be fun. Probably not going to take Cleric because, again, I'm not seeing Gale roleplay-wise picking up worship of another deity or even necessarily working with fiends, although that's more likely that he would make a deal rather than worship. We're picking up Deception and Intimidation. This means that he's proficient in all of the regular social skills, so if there are social challenges, we'll be able to take care of those. You can see that we're encumbered because we've been picking up everything with Gale, and he's not strong enough to deal with that anymore. And we'll send it to Shadowheart. All right, we're going to get Astarion, although he's not going to be next. We just need to steal. Depending on how much money you've got. The DCs will go up too high to make them regularly if you're not careful. All right, so Lae'zel.
Objective noted.
We're going to make Lae'zel a monk. We didn't have a monk at all in the last playthrough. Unlike Druid, which we did actually pick up too many of them kind of at the end of the game. All right, so monks are good once they're equipped, and a little lackluster before that. Okay, so for skills, acrobatics is fine. Stealth is better than insight. For a monk, we want to prioritize dexterity, we want to prioritize wisdom and constitution. And we're going to take 15 for the odd score because when we get to level 4, we're going to be taking Tavern Brawler as every monk before us is done. And that's going to go up to 16. And we'll put our remaining 2 points in strength just to not have a penalty. We're going to be dependent on drinking strength pots for our strength for essentially the whole game. They're easy to get, they're inexpensive, and they're better than the strength stat that you would be able to have otherwise. So all monks are drunken monks. Here at level 2, no decisions to make, just get some additional movement speed if you're not using armor or shield, but we probably will be. We get an additional key point, and we pick up Patient Defense, Step of the Wind, and the disengage version and the dash version. All right, so something to note here about Lae'zel as a monk. Oh, sorry, we forgot to level up Gale as a sorcerer here. So second level, we'll pick up, again, so you could pick up shield or sleep. We're going to maybe cast sleep in this next fight, and then we'll immediately never cast it again. So there's some argument maybe to taking it. I'm just going to take shield, I think. For our first 2 meta magics, we're going to take Twinned, and you've got some options. Extended would be interesting, right? So you could cast something that would last longer, so sleep would last longer. Or if we were doing a build where we were going to slough out into another class to pick up a control spell like Command or something, or later on Confusion. If we're going to be throwing fireballs, another good one is Careful, right? So essentially, your allies will make the save. So those are the 2 that might be interesting. I think I'll take Extended because we might cast control spells maybe from a scroll or something. We get the option to replace a spell. These are the ones that we want for right now, so we'll go ahead and say OK. I'm going to grab Astarion and do some more robbery. We're not fooling anybody. Withers knows that we're stealing from him. I'm sure he just doesn't care. I'm sure he's only charging us because there's some rule that says that he should.
What's next?
All right, so Shadowheart, we're going to make our ranger. And she's going to be an archer ranger that summons pets.
I shall be here in my camp. As
All right, so we didn't have a ranger last time until we were already level 12. We're going to pick Ranger Knight. This gives us access to heavy armor. We're okay with picking up the familiar. Familiars are not bad at the beginning of the game. Let's clear out her stats. And here we're concerned with strength and dexterity. No reason for odd stats. And constitution, we don't need the 15 probably. We're not really worried about maintaining stuff. None of the rest of the stats are particularly important either. So we can start investing in picking up stats that would be useful for potential multi-classes. So if we were going to multi-class into Druid or something for more casting, we could pick up some Wisdom. If we thought maybe we would want some levels of Wizard, we could pick up Intelligence. This would give us a lot of versatility with Wizard. Here we could pick up levels of Druid or Cleric. Cleric's got some pretty good spells depending on the kit. I think that we'll go ahead and invest in those. This also sets the difficulty classes for any ranger spells we're using, which there will not be very many of. Here we want proficiency in athletics. If we're going to be throwing people, we're going to be throwing people with our fighter with multiple attacks, or our monk. And perception and survival will help us notice stuff. And rangers don't pick their kit until level 3. We do get a couple of spells. We'll take Hunter's Mark, and Longstrider is always really good to have. The Druid's also going to have Longstrider. We could pick up Hail of Thorns. This will give her a small amount of area of effect. And we'll pick up Archery for our style. That gives us +2 to attack with ranged weapons. And our last retrain is going to be Astarion. And we're probably going to go the sort of dark and ambitious route here. So this is going to be our core party, and along with Minthara maybe. And we're probably not going to recruit Will or Karlach.
For whenever thou hast need of my service.
Forgot to rob him first.
Although thou dost not see as the...
All right, so here again, we're going Spore Druid, so we'll pick Druid. For cantrips, we'll take the 2 additives, so we'll take Guidance, which adds to skill checks and ability checks, and Resistance, which adds to saving throws. This one does not come up very often. It's no big deal. Astarion's going to be good at scimitars. He doesn't need to have Shillelagh. And he's going to have a strong ranged attack when he picks up some necrotic damage, so we don't really need to worry too very much. By the time that we get into later acts, Produce Flame is going to be a little lackluster. All right, so again, we're concerned with Wisdom. We want 16. Dexterity, we want a 16. Constitution helps us make our rolls. We're going to go for a 15 again because we're also going to take Tavern Brawler when we get to level 4 with Astarion. And the reason is that when you shapeshift as a druid, most of the attacks fall in the same bucket for physical attacks as Tavern Brawler. So we're going to be able to get more strength to hit and damage, or to hit but not damage, or is it to damage and not to hit, with druid forms. They patched it. It used to be both, I think, and now it only works on one. And again, we'll just take the not a strength penalty. We'll take a look at what his options are for skills. We can pick up survival, so we're better at finding stuff on the ground, and Arcana. There's a later game check that's an Arcana check. Probably won't use that, but it's better than the other options. And we're not going to take Circle of the Land, we're taking Circle of Spores. All right, so Circle of Spores is a very kind of vampiric themed kit, and that's why we're going to give it to Astarion. So in addition to the normal wild shape actions, they get this symbiotic entity, which makes them glow kind of sparkly, and they get a reaction attack. So they get this reaction ability to do damage at range that does necrotic, and it'll do 2d4 if they're running symbiotic entity, or I'm sorry, d4d6 if they're running symbiotic entity, and they kind of glow a little bit like a glittery, sparkly vampire from Twilight, and they get some shape shifting into like a wolf or a giant spider. It's very sort of vampy themed, and then we get Bone Chill as a free cantrip, so we've got a good attack cantrip that does necrotic damage. It's kind of really undead themed. All right, so we'll take Leap and Run as cantrips that we really want. Good Berry is pretty good, so this creates essentially a bunch of healing potions. Healing Word will get people up. They've got Thunder Wave and Fog Cloud and Ice Knife for if you want other options. I think we'll take Good Berry, we'll take Thunder Wave, and if we run into an emergency, Healing Word is good. We've also got Fog Cloud is pretty good for breaking lines of sight. But since we're going to go do the Grove fight, we'll take Healing Word just in case we need to keep somebody up. And we'll go ahead and if we want to, we can grab our money back from Withers. Again, if you're going to leave money on him, usually like 200. At this point in the game, money is more valuable than that. Okay, let's get prepped for the next battle. So we'll head to the roadside cliffs.
Adventure awaits.
And we're just going to head straight up, and then we'll hang a right at this cart and go get the waypoint. Which is right here, this ancient sigil. All right, we'll stop here, and I'll catch you in the next video where we do the growth fight. Thanks for watching.